Back with more Heartstopper. This is episode 4 of season 3. Very excited and nervous as ever with this season to see what's going to happen next. Last episode ended on a very, very powerful note with Charlie telling his parents about what he's been going through and, you know, asking for help finally, which is a huge step to take. So I imagine we're going to really delve into that and explore that further in this episode. And I am prepared for emotions. So let's get into it.
I can't believe it's been 2 months.
Yeah, same.
How are you feeling?
Aww. Is he at like a
It's been a long 2 months.
treatment centre?
Have you done any journaling?
You know that saying, things get worse before they get better?
That's what I've been saying.
But the first appointment for that wasn't until January. Things started to get really bad after that.
Oh no.
His eating disorder got worse. I'd have to tell you everything. Then he started getting really angry. They've been so horrible to you and everyone else. I hate feeling like this.
Oh. No.
That's it, I had to my decision. To let you know.
God.
At least he doesn't have to wait until January. He's probably made some friends as well.
Oh.
Yeah, I think so. I just can't really talk about it. I'm good, mate. Yeah, we're here for you.
Oh.
Pretty books. Maybe we could put some self-care stuff, like face masks.
Oh.
What about board games?
God.
Top chops.
Amazing. What the hell is that? What is Tail dressed as? Is that the Donnie Darko thing?
What do you have to say to your boyfriend, Charlie Spring?
Oh, stop it.
I'm clearly Frank from Donnie Darko.
It is Donnie Darko. I thought it was.
We watched it last week. Were you asleep again?
Isaac really suits those kind of outfits. Oh my god! Oh god. Oh my god, Darcy Shrek!
Everyone kisses everyone when they're drunk. I'm allowed to experiment. There's literally no one. I got a boyfriend, but he got mad at me for literally no reason.
Oh boy. Oh, this is Shrek and Fiona, that's amazing. Charlie's been like the defining, you know, staple of parties for him for a while, so this must be weird without him.
Mind if I join?
Oh no, I can't handle Nick and Tao scenes. Stop it. Oh, fuck!
Charlie.
This fucking show!
Your Marvel agenda is never gonna work on me.
Mm.
So I have anorexia and OCD. Yeah, that's not pretty.
Oh boy.
I'm not quite going to say that. The word sorry is still banned.
Mm.
Can't I play the mental illness card now? Still not sure if Tori likes me.
I think she does. Oh, God. I love that they still have like Heartstopper moments after all this time. But it's like a very peaceful place.
Can you kiss me? Because what's happened since I last wrote anything?
Oh, I was hoping they'd do it from Charlie's point of view as well.
A few months have not been great.
Charlie,
Oh man.
But I should count myself lucky that my parents could even afford it. And that I went to one that actually managed to help me. From what
Yeah, that's
everyone-
true. Some people just can't afford it.
Worse than when they went in.
The amount of strength it must take to have to do this.
I still had to do schoolwork, which actually made me feel better, knowing I wasn't going to be behind everyone else when I got out of there.
Oh.
And I met a few nice people.
Oh.
Probably not like lifelong friends, but I wasn't alone.
Yeah. Friends you need in that moment.
do it, Charlie.
So let's unpack that. The actual eating disorder treatment stuff was not very fun.
No, it wouldn't be. Oh, he's got. Oh, I just noticed he got the thing that Nick gave him at the zoo. Ugh. Aww. I love that they had a shot of him alone trying to eat, because that was like food was isolating him, and obviously that's progress that he's eating with others.
He's my favourite.
Aww.
He's quite annoying, but I like him.
Oh, I knew she liked him.
Do you solemnly swear that you'll stop telling me how amazing and wonderful he is and making me feel fine?
Sorry I didn't tell you about all of this. Well, I didn't exactly make it easy for you. We're having your summer of love. It's not a crime. Yeah, well, I love you too. So, can I ask you how you are? Was that kind of a shit question, I know. Yeah, it's kind of a shit question right now. I hate that you were so... And I had no idea. I was good at hiding it. But I missed it. Can you explain to me what happened with Imogen and Zahar? Because Nick was being way too...
He wants to gossip.
Oh my god, yes, okay. He's got this vintage video camera, and he's made this film or documentary. I'm not actually sure. Okay, I'm intrigued. My friends group -1, who we all love very much. I hope that by watching this video, he'll feel like he's been here the whole time. In a metaphorical way, he has. Tal, that doesn't even make any sense. Yeah, it does. I read the song of Achilles, like you suggested, and I know you said it was going to have a sad ending, but I wasn't prepared and I cried for about 4 hours, so I really appreciate that. I'm kind of mad at you, actually, because because I asked you if you were okay, and I guess you just lied. It's not your fault though, Charlie, I know, I just, I hope that when you get back you don't feel like you have to lie to us anymore.
See, again, he's just so honest all the time. So good.
You don't. What is going on here?
Is this just a joke to you?
Oh boy.
Got the camera.
No, I don't think it is, but I think she's still dealing with stuff.
I just wanted to let you know that I'm trying out they, them pronouns.
Ah, okay.
I feel, I don't know, but I feel like you get it. I posted a new painting on Instagram,
Yeah.
and now I have over 10,000 followers.
My girlfriend,
Damn.
famous artist.
My girlfriend is the smartest person in the entire world. She's a prefect, she goes to the Oxbridge prep group, she dances, she plays the clarinet. Stop! Tal, give me that.
Yeah, she doesn't want to talk about that stuff.
Say hi to Charlie, sir. Hi, Charlie.
Oh.
Hi, Charlie. There's a spare seat waiting for you for when you get back.
Aw.
Thank you, Tal. Bye, Tal.
This looks like a painting for you.
Aw, she painted him.
Really good, then I'm keeping it. I miss you, Charlie. I love you.
Oh, God. Fucking hell. She painted him.
We just want to say that when you get home, we've got a lot planned. Do we? Oh, God. Yeah. I mean,
I like that they seem to have worked on this together after their fight in the last one. They're like
yeah, definitely.
close again.
And our friends group really isn't the same without you. But we know you're doing what you need to do right now. Yeah. And I hope that this video makes you feel loved. Yeah. I love you. We can carry on our sessions once a week for as long as you need. So even if it's terrible out there, I'll be here to help. But it got me out of the deep end.
You are going to be alright.
Thank you.
Just trust yourself, yeah?
Oh.
Right, kicking you out now.
Ready? Yeah.
Oh, God. So proud of this boy. Stop it. Oh, this episode, man.
Dinner at 7?
Yeah.
It says lasagna on your meal plan for today's. Is that alright?
Oh, good. Following like a certain food on certain days.
Do I have time to go and say hi to Nick? I'll be back for dinner. I promise.
Fucking hell. It's so rude. I just realised I picked the right shirt to wear when they had a little Halloween section. We're only halfway through this season, and I'm like, just, ugh. Okay. Amazing episode. That was really good. That's probably my favourite of the season so far. Might be my favourite episode of Heartstopper. I have to probably rewatch 1 and 2, but that was amazing. Again, I talked a few episodes back about how this season's been playing with time a bit more, and we're kind of seeing things happen quicker as life passes you by, quicker as you get older. At least it seems like it does. And obviously this episode very much did that as well. You know, we went 2 months ahead to Charlie getting back from the clinic and then going back and filling in those gaps a bit. So yeah, that was really well done, really well structured in terms of, you know, I think they kind of are aware it's hard to watch a story like this unfold, and particularly if it was like, you know, in real time and they spent like the entire season just on like Charlie's time in the clinic or something. You know, that's going to be a lot to deal with, a lot to process. It could be quite triggering for people who have gone through mental illnesses and eating disorders and stuff themselves, to have like an entire season about it. And obviously the story's not over, as Charlie was kind of saying. You know, he's not magically cured or anything like that. It's still going to be a long journey. It might just be the rest of his life. This is his reality now. But you know, I like that they seem to have put a lot of, you know, the hardship, I guess, into just this one episode and exploring that from all angles, and they can, you know, allow themselves to maybe focus on other things as well as Charlie's eating disorder, you know, throughout the rest of the series. I thought that was a really good way of doing it. Well, at the same time, you know, just not kind of ignoring how strong and resilient you have to be to kind of go through something like this. Not just, you know, Charlie for going through it, but, you know, his family and his friends. I'm sure that wasn't easy for them either. So kind of seeing all ranges of that was really lovely. I was a bit nervous at first when it was all like Nick's perspective and Nick journaling. I was like, I feel like we should be getting Charlie being like the centre of this and not just making it about Nick. But then obviously they, halfway through the episode, they kind of switched and showed Charlie's view of things as well. So that was great. And, you know, it is nice to kind of see how they're both feeling at that moment and not just completely ignoring how others are affected by mental illness and eating disorders as well, even if they're not the people who actually have them. So that was great that they did that. And yeah, again, I say every episode, but Joe and Kit are just incredible this season, as they've always been. But, you know, a lot has been asked of them in this season, you know, particularly from Joe because of Charlie's struggles. And they've knocked it out of the park, as they always do. It's so good that we found like talents like them, you know, this young, so they have like an entire life still to make me cry over things, I guess. So yeah, it was a beautifully done episode. I love how it was all structured. I loved how, you know, they had Tao, I guess, using his dad's camera to make a project for Charlie as well, how that kind of came into it in a really lovely way. We're still getting a few, you know, character moments of others. You know, Darcy is trying they them pronouns. So that was kind of cool to see them have a bit of a personal discovery as well. And it's not just out of the blue. It makes sense that, you know, they would reveal that to the audience through the means of updating Charlie on what's going on with them. That was great. The Shrek and Fiona costumes for Tara and Darcy were amazing. so good. I love their commitment to the Halloween bit there. And again, people kind of showering all this praise on Tara in that little scene, and she was kind of shrugging it off and, you know, really not wanting to talk about that. So I think she's continuing to feel a bit pressured behind the scenes, and I'm hoping that comes to the forefront at some point in the rest of this season. I'm sure it's building to something. And just the idea, you know, it's the unspoken thing of like Tao and Isaac seemingly working on this video project together mainly. You know, Isaac was kind of doing a lot of the filming if Tao was on screen, etc. And they kind of contributed a lot to it. And after their fight and their disagreement in the last episode, to see that they've kind of bonded again and they're working on this project together. It's just a nice way of showing like things are better with them again, without actually one of them sitting down and saying, well, I'm glad things are better with Isaac now. I'm glad things are better with Tao now. It's just nice to kind of background detailing of how the relationships have changed and grown for the better. So that was all great. I loved all their contributions to it. I loved their Halloween costume. We got a bit more of Imogen and Sahar as well, with a bit of making out. I think Sahar seems to be taking it a bit more seriously, or it's kind of more meaningful to her. As far as we know, I think Imogen is, struggling and experimenting a bit. I don't think it's a coincidence. When she was like, oh, you just hook up with everyone when you're drunk, don't you? You can kiss anyone you want. She's making out with Sahar, who she had a bit of a, googly lovey-dovey eyes at the end of last season. So, it's a very purposeful thing from her. It's not that it was just any girl that she wanted to experiment with. I think it was, she chose very particularly, even if she's saying like, oh, I'm drunk, I was just making out with anyone. And obviously that's going to be hurtful to Sahar. She's kind of just playing it off as something unimportant. But I think internally it is meaning something to Imogen as well, but she's just working things out. So I'm sure there's going to be more of that conflict as well, but I like that kind of, that's continuing to grow as like a story to focus on. Still getting a bit of Mr. J and Mr. Farouk. I love them just being like, hi Charlie, bye Tao, just get out, leave us alone. They're still being very adorable, which is great. And getting an insight into Charlie's life at the clinic was interesting. Was it Susan, I think, was who he was working with, and then Jeff was his therapist. They seem really nice. I liked their kind of roles and their support of him. Just kind of exploring, because I don't really know what it would be like at a clinic like that, so to get a bit of insight into it was really interesting. And yeah, I like them kind of showing, Charlie was more than happy to just sit on a table of people and talk about them when it was schoolwork, and then the next time he was in that environment, he had to eat, and he sat on his own. And then the next time he was eating, he sat with people again. So, seeing that kind of progress, and it, again, it's not a cure, but I think they're allowing him to evaluate and accept and maybe adapt his relationship with food a bit more to suit him rather than suit food, if that makes sense. And showing, just the strength and the courage and the effort he had to put in for those couple of months while he was there. No phone or anything like that. It must have been very, very isolating. So to see him go through that, again, it's tough to see someone so deserving of love as Charlie to maybe not like himself and self-harm and stuff like that. But it was important to kind of see this step of his recovery, and I think things are going to be different now, and things can be alright with his family and stuff. His mum has clearly taken his eating schedule to heart, and she's adhering to like a food plan, and she let and trusted Charlie to go off and see Nick. Not just making assumptions about what they must surely be getting up to, because now she knows exactly what's been going on with Charlie and what his struggles are. So clearly she's kind of amending her behaviour as well, which is great. I love the little detail of Nick being like, I don't know if Tori likes me, to Tori kind of saying to Nick, to Charlie, that Nick's her favourite of his friends and that she really likes him. Well, Charlie's friends, more than friends. But that was a nice little detail as well. I like to see more of that kind of pairing as well, of Nick and Tori. I think that could be a very sweet, wholesome friendship if that develops as well. So yeah, just lots of little things like that I think are coming to mind. In particular, I was especially moved by Elle painting Charlie, and the way she was kind of saying, oh, I miss you, I love you. That felt so sincere to me. That was an amazing performance from Yasmin in that moment. It felt so truthful what she was saying. So that was great. And she got like a piece of art go viral or something. She got lots of followers from a piece of art she posted on Instagram. So that might be something else to explore. Whenever we saw the other characters in that video they made for Charlie, it seemed like they were kind of adding something to their character and like maybe setting up something that's going to continually be explored now for the rest of the season. So I think that was kind of what they were going for with Elle. And I really liked Isaac. Again, I talked in the last reaction about how just brutally honest he can be when he needs to be. And I love that he was just so forward about it. He was like, Charlie, I'm angry at you for lying to me that you were struggling, you know. In a video that's meant to be like, oh, we love you, Charlie, we miss you, Charlie. You know, Isaac still like loves him enough to be like, you know, this is how it is, this is how you made me feel. Still just treating him as he should be treated. That was great. I'm loving Isaac more and more. The more they kind of show of his character and who he is, you know, he keeps it real, and you know, he's not treating Charlie with kid gloves, which I think is kind of necessary. I think some people should and some people shouldn't, and I'm glad Isaac feels like he doesn't have to. And you know, Tao kind of saying that he loves him as well. It's just, it's also so wholesome. They all love each other so much, and them making him like the little like care package for Nick to bring. It's like, it's such an amazing set of characters. And I think the bond between them just so shines through. Like it's a really special group of characters and a very special group of people playing them. I think, you know, you can see the love and pride they have for the show, and their characters just bleed through the screen every single time. So yeah, that was really lovely and powerful as well. But yeah, just showcasing how it was affecting Nick at the start, and then going back seeing how, you know, Charlie was coping with all of this. They handled it so brilliantly. You know, just great writing from Alice, as ever. And yeah, it was just very emotionally affecting and touching. I can't even think about Nick crying at the party and Tao. Oh, I'm getting emotional again. And Tao just like giving him like some support and a hug, and like, how far those two have come from season 1. Tao hated Nick's guts, and then, you know, season 2, I think they definitely came around to each other a lot more, and they had that lovely moment with Tao opening up to him about his dad's death, and you know, now they're just friends and they get on great. And I love that Tao, you know, was there when Nick needed him, when he was punishing himself, I think, for not being there when Charlie needed him. You know, he was kind of saying, I can't believe I didn't notice that you were going through that. And I think that's allowed him to be a bit more insightful to when his friends need a bit of support and they're struggling. Because he knew straight away, like, okay, I think Nick needs someone to comfort him right now. And he may not have learned to recognise that and those, you know, behaviours if he hadn't realised that he'd missed what Charlie was going through. So, you know, it's just a huge learning curve for them. And whenever they showcase how far characters have come and developed, I just love it. And Heartstopper does those moments so brilliantly. Because even, like, you know, when they do like the graphics with the leaves blowing around and stuff like they've done since the start, the fact that Nick and Charlie still have those moments and they still have the bits with the leaves going around and like just hugging or embracing or anything, you know, they just love each other so much. And you know, it's just, I love how their relationships developed from the start of the show till now. They're just such a good match. You know, I love this is a testament to just how completely, and you know, just fully and truly, Nick loves Charlie and like being there to support him, going through thick and thin for him, really, through those mental health struggles that he's going through. And I also really love that they didn't shy away from the fact that, you know, Charlie was getting a bit snappy and he was being rude and mean to Nick and his friends when things were getting quite bad, because that happens, you know. I think there's a lot of characters that, you know, their mental health suffers and people go through that, and I think people go off them. The audience will go off them and say, oh, they've ruined his character. It happened a lot. My favourite character in a show called The 100 was Jasper. Spoilers for The 100, by the way. Well, not fully spoilers, but as the show goes on, he starts off a very kind of carefree, kind of comic relief sort of character, and there's a big turning point in the show, and his mental health declines severely, and he's very depressed, and you know, he lashes out at people and stuff like that because he's just not coping. And this is a show about like the literal end of the world, so for me he was the most realistic reaction to what was going on, because he was, you know, kind of fell into a deep depression and stuff, so he was acting out and lashing out, and a lot of the audience were kind of been like, oh, they've ruined his character, they've, you know, he's just, I hate him now. I can't stand him. And like, that means they've portrayed his mental health decline correctly. And like, you know, you need to understand his journey and his process. And it's not that they've ruined his character. They've, you know, actually tackled mental health on the TV show, which, you know, they're getting better and better at doing. But at the time, in the 100s, you know, we're talking probably 10 or so, like close to 10 years ago now. You know, it's kind of sad to see that response to him, just because like, oh, he's not a comic relief character anymore. I hate him. You know, they're giving him a character arc, and I like that they're not shying away from those moments with Charlie. Kind of, you know, sometimes you just want to be like, oh, just shut up. I don't want to talk about it. You know, just snap at people. You know, I've had people reach out and I've just ignored them because I'm like, I just can't be fucked. Like, just leave me alone. Someone will send me a message. I'm like, oh, like, just, I want a moment of peace. And I know full well, like, I've been on my own the entire day. No one's messaged me. Then I'll get one message and be like, oh, can't I just have a minute to myself? And I'll just like get really angry, even though I've had a whole day to myself. You know, it's just one of those things. It happens. You're gonna snap. And I love that, you know, they authentically portrayed that with Charlie as well. Who's honestly, you know, you can tell he's the sweetest, most lovable guy. But if you're going through something like that, you're gonna have those moments where you just don't want to talk about it, or you're just not having a good day. And I love that, you know, they don't shy away from that with Charlie. And again, Joe's doing a great job with that. So yeah, all of that stuff with him and his journey and stuff, it really, really resonated with me, really hit home. Particularly, there was a moment when they were talking about the fact, you know, that, you know, oh, we miss you and we love you. We know we're doing what you need to do. And, you know, the fact that he's isolated from all his friends at the minute. And I also like the realism of, you know, he made friends at the clinic, but he's like, I don't think they'll be friends for life, but they were the friends that he needed at that moment. He's just, you know, you can look back fondly on them, like, that was a good time. I had, you know, I had a good relationship with them, but you never speak to them again. You know, I had a lot of people at uni that I got really close to, and I consider them very good friends at that time, and I haven't spoken to them since graduation, but I still look back on them fondly, and they're good friends. It's just, you know, at that time, that's the friendships that we had. Whereas mostly, you know, my core friendship group I've known for 15 years now. You know, I met them at school. We stayed in touch since school, and that's what kind of really hit home with this about, you know, Charlie being away from them all and everything. That kind of really spoke to me because, you know, I've been on my own. I had to move away from my home and move out of my flat because I couldn't afford it, and I had to move in with my dad, you know, on an island. So, you know, if I wanted to go and see my friends, they're 2.5 hours away, and an expense I can't afford away. So I've seen my friends like 3 times in person, you know, in this past year since I had to move here. And it's very lonely, you know. I'm on my own every single day. I don't know anyone here, apart from, you know, my dad and his partner, but I don't have any friends here because I have no prospects, so I haven't been able to get any jobs here, so I haven't met new people through that. So it's just me and my own thoughts every day, which I don't think's helped me. But, you know, so seeing Charlie kind of have that, you know, that kind of very, very got real and spoke to me. Because, you know, I think that was one of the reasons I reacted to this season. Like Charlie was talking about, you know, distractions for his brain. I think that's one of the reasons I wanted to give this a go again, because otherwise I'd just be sat there moping and crying to myself at 4 a.m. because I hate my life. So, you know, Heartstopper always comes at the right time, essentially, and helps you do this self-reflection. So, you know, Charlie's journey is really speaking to me this season, and I love how they've handled it, particularly in this episode, you know, tackling it head on, not shying away from the realities of it, showing how much Nick loves Charlie, how much Charlie loves Nick, that they're, you know, just so good together. You know, clearly the fact that Nick's going through all this, you know, to help Charlie out and support him, just shows how worthy of that love that Charlie is, and how, you know, his friends are making this video for him, and yet he never really saw that, and he doesn't like himself. And I think he's going to be on a really positive journey of discovery now, and hopefully he can find some self-love. that we all desperately crave. So yeah, it was just really great to kind of see them tackle the rough patch of this head on with this episode, and we'll see how things progress from here. I'm really intrigued by the direction of the second half of the season now, and what that could mean going forward. Not just for like Nick and Charlie, obviously, but the other characters clearly have a lot of stuff that they're setting up. So yeah, this was a brilliant episode, stunning, really, really well done, well written, well acted. Loved how they played with time a bit, how they showed two different perspectives of like the same period of time, showing why Nick and Charlie are just brilliant together, why all these other friends, why they all were destined to kind of find each other, and how they all just love each other so much, and love will endure. And I really like that kind of message, and the heartstopperiness of like, it's gonna be okay, now. I like that they kind of tackled that with this. So yeah, amazing episode as always. I look forward to seeing what's going to happen in the rest of the series. I'm not watching any more today. These 2 episodes have ruined me enough. I'm going to go and eat some chocolate or something, whatever I can find, and we'll go from there. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this reaction. I hope you've enjoyed my reactions to this series so far. It's bloody good, this show, isn't it? Very good, very special. But yeah, that is going to be everything for this reaction, and I will see you next time.